How much money can you really make printing t-shirts with screen print transfers? Well, in this video, we're going to break it all down and we're going to find out how much we can make per hour and how much total profit we can make off of a single job. All right, let's get started. So the very first thing that I'm going to do in order to really calculate all of my profits efficiently and, well, accurately is to use my t-shirt calculator spreadsheet. Now, this is really just a pricing spreadsheet that I put together that I have on my website over at necoprints.com, and you can get it for just $2. Now, here you can input all of the details of your job and it'll give you some suggested pricing. So for this example, I'm going to go ahead and take a previous job that I've done before, which is using next level CVC shirts. Now, the ones that I've been using are these right here, and it's also the ones that you're going to be seeing on the B-roll and all of the extra footage that I put on top of this. Those shirts are these same ones. Now, they were black, and just for this example, let's go with, I don't know, let's do something kind of low, but also not too low, right? Because screen print transfers, in order to be able to take advantage of them and really actually be profitable with them, I usually suggest to not use screen print transfers for anything that's less than maybe 15 or 20. Take 20 as your baseline. So nothing less than 20. 20 shirts or more, screen print transfers are perfect. So for these, I'm going to go ahead and do Excel. Let's go with 25. So let's go ahead and add these to the cart. Now, again, this is just for example purposes. That's why I just put 25 Excels, but you can have a mix of these. And really, even if you have a few different shirts or if you have a few different types of products, like let's say hoodies or something like that, the way that I price my products or my orders is, well, at least the bulk ones, right, is by batch size. So depending on how much my overall total for everything comes out, including t-shirts and the screen print transfers, that's how I price my products. And again, you'll see exactly how in just a second. And by the way, up until this point, nobody has ever had any complaints. And everyone actually tells me that I have some of the best pricing possible. And I'm always guaranteeing myself at a very minimum $50 an hour. Now, sometimes I do like to go over that. I like to have at least between maybe like 75 to 80 bucks an hour. But if I realize that the pricing might be a little bit too expensive or it could be a little bit too much, then 50 bucks an hour is more than enough for now. Because, you know, inflation and all these crazy prices going up. So we'll see how things go. But for now, 50 bucks an hour is actually very, very reasonable. Now, extra large, I already did 20, right? They're on here. All right, 25. So let's go to checkout. And then let's go ahead and check out. And the reason I'm not taking into consideration this 101 is because we have to take into consideration the shipping. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick look at the shipping methods. And I can see that right now, the cheapest that I have access to is $24.17. Now that might seem pretty expensive, but if you go ahead and take this same exact order and go to something like Jiffy Shirts, chances are it's going to be a lot more expensive. Even though they give you free shipping, the price per shirt is not going to equal out to this. But I do always suggest that you go check out a few different places. So go to SS Activewear, like I am right now, add everything to the cart and see how much your total comes out to. Then go to Jiffy Shirts, do the same thing, and then go to All Day Shirts and do the same thing. That way you can see who has the better pricing and who has the faster shipping. So in this case, I'm going with SS Activewear because again, it's always the best pricing that I can find. So in total, we see here that we're going to be spending $125.17. So we're going to go back to our t-shirt profit calculator and under total shirt cost. Here you're going to include everything, shipping, taxes if you're paying them, and literally everything that you're paying for the shirts or a combination of the shirts and, you know, the hoodies and everything. So how much did we say? I'm talking so much. $125.17. Now total number of shirts is going to be 25 bucks. 25 shirts. So in total, we're paying on average $5.01 per shirt. That's including our shipping and handling. So right now our total job cost is currently $125.17. So let's go to TKO Sales now, because this is really where I get all of my heat transfers or my screen print transfers. TKO has been pretty much my go-to for screen print transfers for years now. They have 15-cent screen print transfers that are really, really good. But the thing about the 15-cent transfers is that they're limited in size. That's their biggest selling ones. But again, it's pretty limited in size. So let's check it out. Active Sport. Now I'm going to do a premium color, which is the one that I've been doing for these. And I'm going to do the metallic gold. And here we can see that one transfer is 15 cents. We're paying an extra $5 because we're doing the metallic. And then we have a setup fee of $25. So if we're doing just one transfer, we're going to be paying $30.15 for that one transfer. And that's not including the shipping and handling, which is an extra about $15. Now, of course, that isn't average. It's really going to depend on where you live, but I personally have paid about $15 for shipping. Now, this is the sheet size. So for the 15-cent transfers, you are going to be limited to 9 inches by 12.75. On average, 12 by 12 is going to be what most people use. So let's go with that. Now, to be completely fair, with the other shirts that I've been doing lately, or the ones that you're seeing me do here, I actually did the gang sheet. And the reason that I did the gang sheet is because this was my artwork. So for whatever reason, I can't find the artwork, and that's not good. But really quick, let's go to my order history. If you can see it, you can see 2 different ones here, and then there's a size difference. The reason for this is because one is for adults and the other one is for kids. So I just wanted to show you that just so you can see it as an example. And this is 12.75 by 19. Now, I have done it in the past where I'll take up the entire gang sheet just because my customer wants an oversized image. And if we go back here, we can see that the gang sheet goes up to 12.75 by 19, but the single image goes to 13 by 14. But the problem with the 13 by 14 is that you're only limited to white and black. And then I think you can also do a custom color. Yeah, if you just put in the number. But I think that's a lot more money. But either way, for this particular example, we're doing the 12 by 12 with a premium metallic gold. So, all right, let's continue. So we said 25 shirts, right? So for this, what I'm going to do is 25. Now we can see that in total, we're paying $40, and each one or each transfer is coming out to $1.60. Now, again, these $40 are not including the shipping and handling. So in total, we're looking at about $53 to $55, but still not that bad. Now, let me let you in on a little hack or a little pricing hack. So what I like to do is try to see what the price breaks are. And it used to be down here, but it doesn't look like they have it anymore. But pretty much what the price breaks are is that, after you order a certain amount of transfers, you get them at a cheaper rate. And a lot of the times you can actually get 5 or even 10 more transfers and pay less than what you were going to. So let's see if this will work. All right, so right now we're at $40 for 25 transfers. Let's go ahead and up it. So one more is 40-20, 40-40, 40-60. I think it breaks in at 31. Or maybe 35. Let me see where I can get that big price break so I can show you exactly what I mean. I mean, as we're going up, you can see how you can see how cheap these transfers really are. Like I had 25 and it was $40, and we're at 80 now and it's at $51. So they're very cost effective. But anyway, yeah, I can't see the price breaks. Hold on, let me see if I can find it somewhere else. Ah, here they are. Okay. So here. We're doing one color, 12 by 12. Well, that's strange. It's actually not showing it here. But either way, so quantity, 8. So it looks like they're breaking it down by 8, 16, 24, 32. All right, so let's take into consideration 24 and 32. So let's do 24. Or actually 25 because that's the minimum we need, and that's 40. And then if we do 32, we can see that's only $1.40 extra. Now let's do, what was it? Let's say 26, 40, 30, 41. Okay, so I mean, I guess that little hack that I'm telling you isn't necessarily working right now. It probably works better with some of the other sizes. But at the end of the day, I always suggest that add maybe 5 to 10 extra transfers and see how the price fluctuates. Actually, hold on. Let me try one more thing. Let's do the gang sheet. All right, so we're doing the gang sheet that I did last time, and it's 110. There we go. All right, so you see how here it has, we put 31, and for 31 transfers, we're going to be paying $132.22. And then here, the cost per sheet is $4.27. But check this out. We just add one more, and then the price drops down to $118 and $3.71 per transfer. 31, 132, 32, 118. So I always suggest, again, that you just add a few extra transfers, maybe 10, 15, maybe even 20, just to see how the price fluctuates. And who knows, you might be able to get away with paying less for more, just like in this case. But this is not what we're doing right now. So let's go back to the main topic, right? And let's do single image 12 by 12. So I always like to add a couple of extras. So I do 30 just in case, maybe one of the screen print transfers didn't print right or something. So in total, $41. We're doing 30. All right, so let's go ahead and add a test image. So we have everything in order, 30 transfers, $40. Let's go ahead and add to cart. View cart and check out. All right, so in total, we're gonna be looking to pay, let's see, the cheapest we have here, UPS ground, $15.19. So in total, we're gonna be paying this right here, $57.17. So now let's do $57.17. Number of transfers. I'm just gonna do 25 so we can have an even number for both. The extras are just extras that I have just in case. So in total, price per shirt is going to be $5.01, and the price per transfer is going to be equaling out to $2.29. Now, it might show a little bit different on here. Here it's showing a unit price of 20 cents, but that's not including the $30 setup fee, and it's not including the $15 in shipping. So really, in actuality, the price per transfer comes out to $2.29 after we include all of the different factors. Now, we can go ahead and include an hourly rate if we choose to, which I have that option to do here, but that's not something that I really plan on doing. So let's see how much we can make in terms of our profit. So in total, our job cost is going to be $182.34. That's going to include our shirts, and that's going to include our transfers. Now, if we take a look at our pricing models here, we can see that if we want to make a 100% profit margin, which typically that's what I go for, if not a little bit more, we can go ahead and sell each shirt for about $14.59 for a total job price to the customer of $364 and a total profit for us of $182. Now, to simplify things, I don't tell my customers it's going to be $14.59 per shirt. No, I'll just add an extra couple of cents and I'll say, all right, it's $15 per shirt. 15 times, let's say, how much did we say? 25 shirts. $375 total. Now we can go ahead and subtract our total job cost of $182.34, and then we're making a profit total of $192.66. Now, this is again a suggested pricing. If we go ahead and take into consideration how long it takes for us to print these shirts, I can print about 10 shirts. Well, last time I timed myself, which was actually a couple of days ago, I was able to do 10 shirts in 20 minutes, and that's with screen print transfers. So in total, I can say that I can do between 20 to 30 shirts every hour, and that's pretty good. If I really lock in, I could probably do between 30 and 40, but let's take the high end, and let's just say that this is going to take us an hour to do. So 1 hour for 25 shirts. If we're making a profit of, how much do we say? $192, then how much are we making per hour? Well, really, in this case, if we're taking an hour to do all 25 shirts, then we are going to be making about $192 per hour. Now, let's say it takes us 2 hours to do these for whatever reason. All we have to do is just go ahead and divide this by 2. And then we can see that per hour, we're making about $96.33. And we're still giving our shirts to our customers at a really, really good price. $15 for a single color t-shirt for 25 shirts. That's not a bad price, especially considering that 25, it's not, huge order quantities. It's not like a huge bulk order. So people are going to be paying the $15. They might even be paying 16 or 17, maybe even 18. But, I don't want to rip people off. $15 is pretty good as it is. Making already over 100, actually we're making almost $200 an hour in this case. So pretty good profit margins. It's definitely well worth the money. And as you can see, screen print transfers are in fact very profitable. Now there's a lot of different factors that are going to factor into, how much you make an hour, how long it takes you to press the shirts, things like having to place a pocket logo. Sometimes it takes some people a little bit longer, or if you have to print both the back and the front of the shirt. In this case, we're only doing the front, so it is a little bit quicker. So can you really make money with screen print transfers? Yeah, you definitely can. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for this video. If you want to check out the t-shirt pricing calculator, the link will be down in the description below, or you can just go to nycoprints.com and you can get them through there. Also, screen print transfers, there's a lot of different places you can get them, but personally, I've always gone to TKO Sales. I think they have some of the best screen print transfers in the game, and it's what I've used for quite a while now, and they last. These shirts are for a gym, the Muay Thai gym that I go to, and they need to last. They're used and abused every single day. Sorry, my camera keeps overheating and it just shut down on me again. But yeah, if there's anything else that you want to learn, or if there's anything that you want me to cover, or anything that you want me to touch up on, just drop it down in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts. And with that, my name is Mario with Nyco Prints, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.